I do a lot of sourcing, which I'm sure a lot of you guys do a lot of sourcing. A lot of us are sellers and collectors. We all have our, a lot of different contexts for reasons why we're out there in the trenches, as it were. But we are out there in the trenches, right? And we've all encountered the scanner. And I have no issues with scanners. Let me be right up front. The goal here is for no book to be left behind. So, and they do, in fact, get a lot of books that would be left behind, like not left behind. So that's kind of on mission. And then, and because I find myself in the same places, in the same circles with them quite a bit, I have wanted to like learn how to symbiotically exist, find different books than they're finding, or find the same books faster. And that means you have to be faster than the computer. And the only thing that's faster than the computer is already knowing the information. Having said that, I used to be a wedding photographer as well, and I used to take the wedding day very seriously, right? I don't think the wedding day was a day to practice any new skill or new, like, don't get me wrong, you can play and practice and try new things, but you need to know how to execute these things before you go to the wedding day. Does that make sense? So this is kind of in that same spirit. If we take the time, we sit, we learn the authors, we learn how, like, for real ski, how popular they are, not like how popular we think they are, but like with data and numbers and comparing things apples to apples. When you're out there in the field, you can, instead of going beep, 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 and because that takes a certain amount of time, it's fast, but nothing is faster than being able to scan a line of titles, and either by author or by the individual title, and by looking at the edition, just knowing it instinctively. Only thing that beats the scanners. So that's what this show's about. We got to learn this stuff. Definitely the human brain is faster. I usually know the books my people like. Exactly. And especially since probably a lot of us are closet neurodivergent, pattern recognition, total thing. So lean into that if that's something you get to enjoy. But I always say this. I have scanners. There's a group of Middle Eastern guys at our local Goodwill outlet, our bins. Young guys, super sweet. These folks are just trying to earn a living, right? And instead of kind of being mad at them all the time, like some folks are, like, we kind of help each other out. Like, they don't look for old stuff, or they don't look for anything that doesn't have a barcode. If it doesn't have a barcode, they can't do anything with it. So first, let me tell you how limiting that is, because there's a lot of books that don't have barcodes that are worth saving, number one, but certainly a lot with collectible value as well. So when I go through TikTok and I see all these like big YouTubers telling you to just stick to the barcodes, that is a very limiting way to do that, because it silos you in to only one particular type of books. So you guys are leaving not you guys, the proverbial you guys, the scanners, you guys, and I love you, you're leaving a lot of stuff behind by just dialing in there. Does that make sense? I know like book people get it, but... So I also say it to say this: if you guys go into a situation, a book fair or a thrift store or whatever, don't be disheartened if you see a scanner there. I know sometimes it can be frustrating or kind of take the wind out of your sails or the gas out of you, whatever metaphor you want to use. But don't just kind of shift your thinking into what you're looking for and you're concentrating on. And I promise you, these folks are leaving stuff behind. Like, I almost, a part of me is like almost glad to see a scanner, because I know they've already thinned it out, and I know I can just look for this kind of stuff, and then, I'm in and out faster. And again, the goal is for no book to left behind. So, and they are doing that. So what this is, that was a really long intro. I haven't done this show in a while. So, what we've done is we use eBay, the back end here, to look through and see, like I just brought up Sarah Moss because she's obviously super popular. And what this will do, this will show you all of the sold items, and we will pick the book category. And whenever you're applying filters in like a data set, always make sure that you're applying the exact same filters 100% of the time. So you're, comparing apples to apples, orange to oranges, that kind of thing. So then what we do is we'll go through and we'll kind of see first what her, what's called a sell-through rate. This means of all the listings of Sarah Moss that go up, this has actually come down a little bit. I had Sarah Moss up at 44, And this is kind of how you can see over time she has become less. I can't say less popular, but her books are selling at about 8% slower than they were before. Now, let me be clear. 38% is still extremely, extremely good. This gal is killing it, but data changes, things go up and down, it could be just in this moment, maybe, and I'm not aware of her publication schedule, but maybe she hasn't released a book in a while, which would bring her, her graph down. But then as soon as she releases another book, and then her name is all over the news and people are like, oh yeah, Sarah. And then they go buy the books. You know what I'm saying? And like everything in the world kind of works on the kind of ebb and flow of people's attention. It's kind of interesting when you think about it. So that's the one thing that we're looking for, the 38% there. But the other thing that I have found is actually really important is going over to active. You want to kind of figure out how many of her list, like 38% of what, right? So 38% of about a roughly, and this isn't quite match up because these are existing listings and you know what I'm saying. So right now Sarah Moss has 7,800, almost 8,000 listings, and then you can compare to see like J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter fame, obviously, and other fame. Don't follow her on Twitter if you like her books. You will maybe fall out of love with her, depending. But she has 48,000 books on the secondhand market on eBay. So that tells me, as someone looking at the data set, that she's just got an absolute massive amount of content and work out there, much more than Sarah Moss, who I know who's in a much earlier part of her career. So, and plus, there's like more Harry Potter books than Bibles or something, to be fair. And so then once we got that information and we can kind of contextualize what they've got going on, then my favorite thing to do, and I think this is probably y'all's favorite thing to do, is we will come down, and here's kind of the graph, kind of what I was talking. And yes, I do nerd out over this data. I am that nerd, 100%. I do not like to guess. I like to know. So, and you can see here like where she's peaked, and I would probably venture to say, well, that's not even that long ago. Man, it ebbs and flows just daily a lot. Look at that. I didn't realize that was. I guess here's the thing down here. Maybe I am dumb. I don't know. You can always learn. Let's just say that. So these are sold listings. And then you can actually go through, and when you sort by what the cost is, you can see what her most expensive stuff is. And this is kind of really fun to look at. And then you're kind of aware of the BOLOS, and the actual BOLOS. We'll pull up a few here and we'll kind of nerd out and look for a second. I like Sarah Moss. I really like where fantasy fiction and romantasy is going. I have a theory that like Marvel stuff, like insofar as like movies and the zeitgeist, I think like romantasy and like Ruth Ware and like those kinds of authors are really going to be dominating the next like 5 to 10 years of popular culture, and I can here for it. I cannot wait. But, so, like here, for example, we have a kids show later on today. Right after this, I'm going to set up for that. We got like 300-400 kid lots, I think, or something, last I looked. So if that's your jam, hang out. It'll be 5:30 tonight. I'm probably going to take a nap at some point, but we'll see. So these are fun to look at. Apparently, these are like these character books, and these are all signed. Have you guys seen these? These are really pretty. I've never seen these in real life. That's a Bloomsbury logo, isn't it, right there? I'm not sure. What are these? It's a little too hard for Steve in the morning. I need one more cup of coffee for that song. So, but you can see here, this is a $2,400 or $2,500 set. This many. Let's see if we get a little better photo. Where did these come from? Okay. Too hard. Let's get something a little more chill. Brain music. Yeah, Pearl Jam. There you go. I'm in. Don't get me wrong. I like those songs. It's just a little too early in the morning. I am 40. I'm old. And that's not old, but you know what I mean. Anywho, I don't know where these are from. And this is kind of something that we'll come over here and do. Where is this book set originally from? So let's find out. The Throne of Glass series and anything tied to it, including, I know that. Well, that wasn't helpful, was it? So anyway, you guys kind of get the idea with that. And the other thing I'll show you is Sarah Moss. And is do be aware that these exist. These may or may not stand out to you. And they don't have barcodes. That's key. They don't have barcodes, which means the scanners are never going to take these. I find so many uncorrected proofs at the bins. I really feel in my heart that's only a matter of time until I find one like this. So this is Sarah Moss. If you don't know what an ARC or an advanced proof or an uncorrected proof is and you can see here it says advanced uncorrected proof. They send out copies of the book to advanced readers for feedback, for focus groups, for editing, for reviews, to things like that. And they don't necessarily get into the secondhand market. Very often you can actually get in a shit ton of trouble if you, because there's always like a release date for the book. And if you sell this book or let this book get into circulation, like, yeah, right here, it says coming May 5th, 2015. So this ARC, this advanced proof, would have came out before then, before the release of the book to the public, and you can see where kind of legality you can get your just face suit off. You see it on Macari. You see this book on Macari all the time, Brittany says, or just the uncorrected proofs. If you ever find this, keep a lookout for this one big time, or any really popular author, because they are crazy expensive. You'll find a ton of them. A lot of them are really just kind of more novelty and kind of just fun to have. But you never know if a book like gets huge later on and you have the proof. I mean, you can see what happens. So I promise you, when this proof was going out, especially this one, because it's the first in the series, nobody knew that Sarah Moss was going to take off. You know what I'm saying? So you just don't know. And if you can get them cheap, they're worth throwing on a shelf. Just to throw that out there. If you are a speculator, or was it? I mean, it's collecting books. Whatever your reason is. I gatekeep no reason. Whatever reason you have a book on your shelf, fist bump. Don't care. More power to you. I read a stat once about how many people like read books after college or even after high school, and it was very disheartening. So we are the select few, huh? So having said all that, that's kind of the gist of kind of what this show's about. I'm going to try to do this more often because it really helps me, and I hope you guys enjoy it, but I'm doing it anyway. So let's go over Olivia Blake. I actually have some Olivia Blake in Saturday's show. We were able to source 250 lots yesterday, by the way. Saturday's show, this show here, where is it at? This show here on this Saturday is going to be like probably 600, 700, 800 lots of like all new book, like new to my show books. I can't say they're new. None of them are new. I don't buy new books. Someday. So anyway, we're going to do Olivia Blake. Give her the old treatment here. So what we do is we type in Olivia Blake. Oh, incorrected proofs of other books. What's up, Steve? Good to see you. Good morning, buddy. Yeah, Brittany, if you can get him cheap, definitely snag him, throw him on a shelf, throw him on a box, forget about him for 20 years in your basement. and then in 20 years, crack that baby open and retire. No, I'm kidding. It's probably not the case, but it would be fun. And that's kind of what happens sometimes is I get into these basements and these books haven't been opened and looked at in 20 years. Okay, so first thing, Olivia Blake, the first number we're looking for is her sell-through rate, 24%. Let's get that in there. 24% is pretty good. 24% to me, I use Stephen King as kind of a baseline. That's why he's highlighted here. Anything above 20% is like an auto pick. So, and this is one of the ways that you can beat the scanners. Because they don't even look at the title of the book. They don't even necessarily look at, I know they don't look at the cover. I sit and watch their process. They really just want that barcode. So they're missing signed books. I mean, you miss so much when you do it like that. It breaks my heart kind of a little bit, because I wish they would just slow down and do it like this, because then they would get them all. You know what I'm saying? But anywho, And there is an argument to be said. You really want to leave books for other people, because if you don't leave books for other people, people stop coming to that store for books. You know what I'm saying? And then you hurt the store owner. So there's a balance to be struck. But anyway, that's an aside. So she's above and beyond Stephen King. She's Olivia Blake, 100% of the time going to be a pickup. Let's see what else we can glean. Not very many people selling, so she, I guess, a relatively newer author is my guess. So another thing I like to do is use the data to kind of guess things about her career, and then we'll go to ChatGPT. And remember, AI is not super great. It's not taking over the world anytime soon. But we'll see. I already messed up. You got to make sure you're in the book category alone, or your data doesn't work. So let's go back over to sold and see. Yeah. Oh, no. That went way down. Oh, no. Oh, wait. No, not brand new. Just any. See, filters are important. Damn, that did not help in the least. Okay, that's a bookish box. That's a pretty book. Let's see. It's a 40. Is she so new? She might just be so new that none of her stuff is really hitting the secondhand market. Is that the case? No, I don't want brand new. Why does it keep doing that? Again, it didn't help it. What? Why does it keep putting in that filter? Are you guys seeing this? Am I being dense? Apply. Stop putting it on there. Okay. Okay. It's so weird. Okay. All categories, books, apply. What? Maybe it's the only one. And that's why it keeps doing that. It's bizarre. So our data may not be correct. Oh, goodness. That's no fun. All right, let's see what we can glean over from active, though. So she really doesn't have a lot of books up. I mean, and that would explain why there's the only one there. So the Atlas, I have a bunch of this series. I think I have book 3 in this series on Saturday night's show. So only 22 active listings. Wow. Could you please list for me Olivia Blake's books in publication in series order, and then give me a paragraph about her? Let's see what it says. That's pretty wild. Yeah, no data. Oh, what's up, Josh? I didn't see you there. Knowing how little people read helps me make some sense. It really does. Like, we all need to lower our expectations and things make sense. I hate to be that guy, but you really want to kind of define the chessboard you're playing on so you can navigate that chessboard to everyone's benefit. You know, she's been writing for years, but her recent books are the ones that, okay. I'm spelling it wrong. That's what I'm doing wrong. Yes. See? Always allow for a human error. Olivie Blake. Okay, let's go to solds. Let's. Okay, so a little like at least there's more data. That's more 8. We'll just call it 8.24. Not quite as good. Where are we at here? Over here. Slide it on over. Let's go to active. See what she's got going on over here. Okay, so 2,000 listings. So that makes more sense. And that makes sense why that was so low, because there's only so. There used to be a website, I don't know if it still exists, called fatfingers.com, where if you do like eBay flipping, I don't, but I like to be aware of things. And there's nothing wrong with it or anything, but it's just not something I do. But you can put like the name of something into it. Let me see if it still exists. I hope it's not like, okay. Yeah, it still exists. Okay, so I used to use this. This is funny. I used to collect Skylanders back in the day. My kids and I were obsessed with them. And so what this does is it will give you like typo examples. Like I just mistyped Olivie, or I flipped that actually. So then you can, hopefully it still works. So it types into your search bar common misspellings of the sky. It's Skylanders. So you can go through and see if there's any mistypings of things that you might be missing. Now, like, I can't say I ever like got a deal, like, but it's kind of a neat thing. And I know I misspell things from time to time, so I wonder if, oh man, I haven't thought about that in a long time. That's fun. I haven't played Skylanders in probably 10 years. This is a great song. 2030. Anyway, okay, our data is probably correct now. All right, so we got that. This is kind of the stuff that she's got going on. Let's look at her solds and kind of see what her BOLOS are, if any. We'll go down here. So we go to average sold price. Here we go. This is not that. Are we in the book category? We are not. Boom, boom. Did I not have the filters? I am just not doing. Oh no, that's fine. We'll just call it 9% and walk away. I'm tired of looking at it. Okay, so here's some Illumicrate editions. Here's a Fairy Loot. Oh, see, here's an uncorrected proof too. What's that? Alone with You in the Ether. Fairy Loot. We'll look at all these. Sign Master. Dude, books are so pretty now. Bookish box. So obviously, like with the box subscription services, whether it be Fairy Loot, Bookish Box, 100% of the time pick those up. The scanners, it depends on how the cover is designed. Because I've had them hand me Fairy Loot books before, but for whatever reason, the dust jacket didn't have a barcode on the back, so they didn't have it. They couldn't do anything with it, or they won't do anything with it. And God love them, they would rather see me have it than it go back into the recycling bin. You know what I'm saying? So, and I really appreciate. If you guys ever watch this, I appreciate and respect you folks, like for real, like And they're there every day. God love them. They work hard. They bring in a team of 6. But it's funny when my wife and I go in there, even though they have a team of 6, my wife and I still walk out of there with like 4 times the amount of books that they do. And that's what I'm talking about. Like it's when you focus purely on the barcodes, it silos you. Like it takes this big, wide, beautiful world and narrows it. And it's just, I just don't think that's the best way to do it. And then it breaks my heart because I see like flippers and resellers on YouTube. That's like all they teach you. And I do think that it's probably, I want to be like, I think it like loses the magic of the book. You know, like something does get lost. I appreciate it happening. I want to be clear. I've stated that multiple times. I'll continue to state it, but like it does, I think, lose some of the specialness of it, you know. Does that make sense? Gifted and talented. Oh, okay, cool. Good morning, casual. I got to watch chat more. I get to talking. Okay, so here's this. Beautiful edges. What is this? Assigned to Illumicrate. But yeah, just it gives me FOMO. Like I want to go up there like every day. Like to the Goodwill bins because that's pretty. Because I just know how much is just being left behind. You know, and there's only so few. There are only so many like serious like book like sellers that go there, and then a lot of the normal folks and to be expected are just like, you know, picking up books that for themselves and not like just saving them in mass. So, and I appreciate those folks too, of course. These are pretty. Fairy Loot Mix Lot 5 exclusive signed books. Holy smokes, these edges! Look at that one. Oh. I love that dagger. That is rad. Man, books are pretty. So here's a question. How do you guys display your books? Like, do you guys, because like both sides are pretty now, the spine and the edges. Like, how do you buy 2 so you can display them like one front, one back? What do you guys do? And I guess it's probably, that's pretty. But that's like a serious question. Like, how do you guys prefer? If you have a bunch of book with sprayed edges, do you do it sprayed edge out or do you do it spine out? You know what I'm saying? So this is one of the arcs. So Olivie Blake, definitely be looking for her. Advanced reading copy. That's how it's usually the acronym. Girl Dinner. When did this one come out? Yeah, not for sale. You can get in big trouble if you're on that list. I don't know how exactly. Oh, it's a Tor book. This is another pro tip. Learn your publishers. There's a lot fewer publishers than there are authors, so it's easier to learn. And then publishers, there's always exceptions to every rule, but publishers have a tendency to stay kind of within their playground. So like Tor does sci-fi and fantasy. So if I didn't know anything about Miss Blake, I would pick this up purely on the publisher because Tor is, Dungeons and Dragons was published by Tor, or TSR. But Tor, I'm sure, did some novels and stuff in there. But you buy old dusty books, so it's a non-issue. There you go. Josh, you would love being on this list, I think. The advanced readers list, they get all the books before they're released, and then they get to give feedback to the author. It's pretty neat. What's this? I guess that's just a book? I thought it was like a super manuscript or something, and like loosely bound. Okay, so that's cool. I've never seen that before. And this is the other thing. Depending on your scanner, they have a tendency not to mess with paperbacks. I've seen some mess with trade paperback size, but anything smaller than that, they generally don't. There's a lot of value in small paperbacks, and like this one, for example, $75. I mean, it doesn't look like anything special. So, but if you know the author, I guess. But yeah, this might be not one they would even pick up. These are pretty. Let's see here. The other thing to kind of be aware, now these are easy because of the sprayed edges, but also do notice the art style of the zeitgeist or the genre that you're collecting. Because like say these are, this one's a little bit different. These are kind of the same-ish. But you can also just, again, pattern recognition when you're looking at a big pile of books. You don't necessarily have to, and sometimes you have to go fast, and sometimes it's faster to just grab by artwork style than it is to necessarily go through the author. Now, you're going to miss stuff doing that, but it just depends on what your context is and your speed. I approach everything like a video game. To be fair, everything is stress, or not stress. Everything is stress, let's be real. But chess, I just can't turn it off. Oh, this is cool. The immortal thinks he has cheated death. Death thinks he has cheated the mortal. Both are wrong, and neither knows it yet. That's cool. Oh my God, how funny is that? Everything's a game if you play it right. It's true. Game theory is applicable to everything. So that's that's funny. Clip it. Anyway, I know I'm getting stuck on this author, but she's got some really pretty stuff. They miss sign books all the time. And I'm not being like, a lot of times, especially if you're dealing with foreign scanners, they'll miss the signed by author sticker on the front. So that's another thing that you could look for that they sometimes leave behind. I guess scanners in general leave it behind because they're not looking at the front of the books. It blows my mind. They don't even look at the front of the book. They grab all the books out of the bin and then they put them barcode up. Do you know what I'm saying? And then they just booch, 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 boop, ding, booch. It's like it's just a product. You know what I'm saying? What are these? Are these little cup ones or whatever they were? Or are these something different? Show me the front. Okay, here we go. These are pretty. These always remind me of some of you might remember there's Dritz, and then there's the other. Is it Elric of something or other? He was like a dual wielding albino looking dude. You guys know what I'm talking about? Fantasy fiction. I can't remember the author off the top of my head. How do I get on these lists? I don't know. Yeah. Sanderson has Tor, or Tor has Sanderson. Yep. I buy dusty old books. I love it. All right, cool. So let's. So that's kind of where we're at. Oh, that's Sarah Moss. That was from before. So now I feel a little bit more equipped on this particular individual. I feel like I know some of her titles. I feel like I know her style. I don't see a lot of her books in the secondhand market. What do some of her normal books look like? See, and that's the thing. Books are kind of fun. Like, okay, here we go. So her Atlas series. This is the one I had. This is the one I have in Saturday's show. If you guys, I think, and this is book 3. I actually found a few of these, so if you guys need it, just let me know. I think a bookstore kind of just like dumped their inventory, and I picked up most of the inventory. That's another thing I'm actually trying to hope to do is work with bookstores. Do any of you guys work in bookstores? I would love to pick your brain on how, like, the process of, like, they get a new published book, you know, it's a certain price when it comes in, you have it for a while, then I'm sure you discount it, and then you discount it, you know, as the book gets older and been out for a while. But then what do you guys do with the inventory that doesn't sell? Like, do you guys just recycle it? Do you send it back to the publisher? Is there a refund process between bookstore and publisher? Is there a third company that I'm not aware of that will buy like pallets of the stuff and then sell it later on? Like, you know, like and does it change per bookstore? You know, I need to meet some folks that actually own and run bookstores. You just don't love that they're paperback prints. Yeah, that's true. All right. So Olivia Blake, let's do who else? So as I'm going through life, I kind of just add names to the list as I come across them. So I didn't know this, but Anne Rice wrote like a whole like Snow White or Sleeping Beauty? I can't remember. Maybe both. I don't know. She wrote a lot of erotica. Let's look up Thomas Pynchon. He's someone I've been meaning to look up for a while. So first, do the same for Thomas Pynchon. Let's read about Olivie Blake first. Olivie Blake is the pen name of Alexine Farrell Falmouth. She burst into the public eye after her self-published dark academia fantasy, The Atlas Six, went viral on BookTok. BookTok killing it, friends. There was a TikTok does commercials now that includes BookTok in it to advertise the whole platform. Like, I'm telling you, like, you ladies and your shells and you've revitalized the entire industry. And I really do think you guys are going to own the next 10 years of pop culture. So high five. Good job. Thanks for making me not weird, because I've always been the book guy, but you guys made books cool. So like, I'm kind of cool now for the first time in my life. So preach. And I've done nothing, completely unearned. Very self-aware. But anyway, Blake's work often weaves together magic, ambition, and morally complex characters tangled in secret societies. But she's not limited to fantasy. Her novel, Alone with You in the Ether, which is that paperback that was like $75, is a deeply emotional exploration of love, mental health, and alternate timelines. Super fun. Outside of her adult fantasy, she also writes youth adult rom-coms. Did you know this? I didn't know this. Under her legal name. What? Did you guys know this? Shut your face. All right, let's do this. Look at that same person. What? This is why we do this show, friends, because we just don't know. You don't know what you don't know until you know, and then you can go find out. Same person. I think I've seen these too. I've seen that one especially. Did you guys know? Be honest. Claiming of sleep. Okay, but was that the Anne Rice one? Gotcha. Yeah. Interesting. Let me write that down, actually. Where is she at here? Pin name of writes rom-coms. Is it one? Yeah, it'd be one because comedy only has one M. Rom-com as well. Smiley face, because I end everything with a smiley face. Okay, so what were we doing? Thomas Pynchon. It's neat. All right, let's do this. Let's get that going, and then we'll come over here. We'll write in Thomas. And we'll probably do this one here, and then we'll wrap up today. I got 250 photos to take for Saturday's show. So if you haven't gone to that show, bookmark it. Check back in about 2 or 3 hours, and you're gonna have first dibs on like if you're a pre-bidding type. I know some folks don't like to pre-bid, but which is totally fine too. But I am a pre-bidder. I like to get first crack at things. What am I doing here? We're gonna go to sold first. What? Am I spelling this guy's name wrong again? Am I a bad speller today? I may have. Let's try this. Surely am I spelling this wrong? I got to be spelling that wrong, right? I am spelling it wrong. There's no I. Okay. Yes. I just invented a letter for no reason. Or not the letter. You know what I mean. All right. Back over here. I learned 2 things today. That it's Olivie Blake, not Olivia, and then Thomas Pynchon, Pynchon. So, all right, books. Let's get to it. We got there. We got there in the end. All right, where we at? So, wow. What? What? That's crazy high. Shut up. Oh, wow. So he's an auto pickup like 100% of the time. Holy smokes. That's like, look at that, guys. I mean, that's Frida McFadden's the only one on my list that beats this guy. And Frida is like the top of her career right now. You know what I'm saying? Like everything she releases is like gold, and she's got shit turning into movies and stuff, you know? Jeez. Let's make sure this data is accurate. I'm like not trusting it all of a sudden. I'm in books. I'm in the right category. Okay, so there's not a ton of listings, but that's okay. I wonder why there's not a ton of listings. So 858. That's not 858. This is a good tune. All right, so the other thing that we do need to check, because I did notice as I was going through here, he has antiquarian. There's 2 book categories on eBay. You know, just like the books and magazines category, and then antiquarian and collectible. So you do kind of, on the authors that have, especially in the authors that have been around for a long time, you do need to check both. So, and then you can see a little bit lower sell-through in this category. Let's see how many sometimes the active listings are really low. So about 180. So normally you would want to create a photo to kind of do weighted averages. Way too lazy for that, so we're not going to do that. So we're going to guess. And to be fair, like it's really more of a ballpark. So let's call it probably 45% at 1,000 listings. That's still very, very good. It's not mathematically accurate. I acknowledge that. Please don't yell at me. Inherent Vice. Oh, cool. Yeah, I've not heard of that one. Oh, for Thomas, let's check it out. All right, let's go back over to Solds. We're still in the same category. Gravity's Rainbow. Look at that. $776. Holy shit. And I guess that's just his first edition. The Crying. Is this the one you were talking about? The Crying? Inherent Vice. Is that the one? Okay. I had a paperback copy of Gravity's Rainbow. I've never seen this. Here's another $400 copy. Oh no, there's nothing for me to click. That must be too old. Bleeding Edge. Let's take a look at that. The Crying of Lot 49, first printing there. These are the same editions. V, 19, what's that about? Oh, here's Inherent Vice. There's that. We'll look at that. Vineland. We'll check this out. I know none of these. Mason and Dixon I've seen. I've not seen V ever in my whole life. Slow Learner I've not ever seen. Oh, no link. Yep, Mason and Dixie. Shit, I may have undersold my copy of this. It's all right. To be fair, I try not to leave meat on the bone, but it's in, like, I'm going to leave, like, and let me be clear. I don't need all the meat on the bone. I need a little bit of meat on the bone just so I can pay my bills and stuff. But I'm not like if somebody, if I'm just completely unaware that something is worth something and then somebody I like, more power to you. Good job. Like, it does not bother me in the least. Now, if we both know what it's worth and you try to get one over on me, then it's a little more upsetting. But does that make sense? So, but yeah. All right, let's come over to, sorry if that scrolling that fast gives anybody like dizziness. Okay, so we're back over in the regular category, and I think we're getting a lot of the same kind of stuff, just less of it. So we're gonna flip back over. What's this? Oh, it's a UK import. Oh, I like this song too. Okay, so it's a lot of the same stuff. So let's get a little background. I do like to see like the publication order, and again, you do sometimes want to check these lists. I cannot begin to tell you how underwhelming AI can be at times. So V came first. Crying Lot, Gravity's Rainbow, which is the one I've heard of the most, is third book listed. Mason and Dixon was his sixth. Shadow Ticket. Oh, he's still writing. He just released a book called Shadow Ticket. I've not even seen it. Thomas Pynchon is one of the most enigmatic and influential American novelists of the postmodern era. Born in 1937, he is known for his complex, multi-layered novels that combine dense scientific or historical detail, dark humor. My man, I'm going to read the shit out of this guy. Paranoia and conspiratorial webs, excuse me. His signature work, Gravity's Rainbow, probably why that's the one I've heard of, is widely regarded as a masterpiece, exploring war, technology, and human agency, probably very relevant in today's time, as I'm sitting on an AI device. Pynchon trends to avoid public attention, giving few interviews and keeping a remarkably private life, which only adds to his literary mystique. Ooh, fancy. So here's Gravity's Rainbow. This is the one that they were talking about. This is going to be your first edition, more than likely. Let's take a look at it. Probably doesn't have that plastic dust jacket on it. Whoever put that on there, however many years ago, God love you. It's probably the reason why it's kept so nice. Very cool. Okay, so yeah, definitely. Okay. So a lot of times, like these edges here, that'll be bleed from like the linen boards. Here's your, not that you guys will remember this. I won't remember this either, but. So, and this is kind of an example where, you know, there's nothing on here that will explicitly say that this is a first edition. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's a little easier to, something that's pretty, you'll always, see again, exceptions to every rule, but generally you're going to see a number on it. And it'll be like trade edition size. So that's cool. Let's see that cover one more time. Gravity's Rainbow. Apparently this is a masterpiece. And it has a masterpiece price. This I've never seen. I've seen paperbacks of this though. Just like contemporary stuff, you know, $1 or $2, whatever. You have to remember prices are only a suggestion. It's only what the market will hold. A lot of these sold to those who really collect books and paper. Yeah, no, absolutely. You're absolutely right. Crazy. And that's the other thing. I try to come in at the space that's like I don't need the like super collectible thing. I also want speed. So that's why I really like the Whatnot platform, because even at $1 or $2, I am happy as hell to see these books go out at $1 or $2, because these things would have been in the trash otherwise. And, and I it's all good. Quantity can sometimes make up for quality. My goal is kind of thread the needle between like all three, and just kind of live in. It requires a lot of work because I have to constantly like feed the machine, you know what I'm saying? But it's fun work. So like whatever. If I do this for the rest of my life, I'm good. I'm straight. Love it. You wish you did. Oh, what did Jenny say? I know, me too. What did Jenny say? You feel bad for you potentially using one of my videos if you want something big. Anyone willing to do weighted averages? I'm not doing weighted averages at 750. No, it's totally fine. I would say this: if you ever feel guilty, if you feel that like checking your spirit, just ask them. Like, because there are books where it would probably sting for me to take 50% on it, like, or a consignment on it, or something like that. But a lot of times, man, if I've had a book sitting on the shelf for 6 months or 12 months or whatever, and you want it for 50% off, I take the damn thing. You know what I'm saying? I got to get it off my shelf. That's what those coupons are for. So if you want, if you ask, but if they've got it available at, hopefully the seller is aware that if it's in a show, a coupon can be used on it. So you know what I mean? But just ask, hopefully open communication. He's a writer who writes in the dark, as we all call back in the day. That's cool. I think you know the list. Which one? I don't know, but anywho, I might know what you're talking about, but yeah. Anyway, The Crying of Lot 49. Not seen this one. I have no idea what this is about. There's not a lot of photos. Take more photos. This is sometimes like. If I were going to spend this much on a book, do you know what I mean? If I were going to spend that much, say it was 500, 300, whatever the offer was, because when there's a line through it, it means there was an offer made and accepted. I want to see the inside, the outside, the upside down. I want to see the molecules that the book is fucking made of. If I'm spending a car payment and a half or 2 car payments on a freaking book, I want more than one photo. That's all I'm saying. Yeesh. The author I never shut up about. Oh, it drives me nuts crazy. I don't know how they sell them. Like this too. Like, I want to see the spine. I want to see the inside cover. I want to see it all. You know what I mean? I want to know. I want to be able to, like, because sometimes you get books that look very similar, but they might be different editions, and those little details inside that cover really matter. And then, then you go to these listings where money is actually exchanged hands, hoping it's going to be a plethora of information, and it's just not. It's just then the level of trust. Amazing. This is a little bit better, because you really do want to see the spine, because a lot of times that's what you're going to be looking at. Do you know what I mean? As you're scanning bookshelves, you're not always looking at like a box of books, face down where you can see the covers. So please, eBay people. Steve, I honestly don't know which book you're talking about. Chances are I'll probably take the coupon. I'm happy to, man. I don't know which book it is, but Loader. Oh, wait, which one? The set? I'd let you do that on the set, man. Yeah. Yeah, just send me a message whenever you're ready to pull the trigger. We'll figure it out. In your head. See, this is the way. The longer it sits on my shelf, the more I want to see it gone. Anything that's probably been sitting over a month, I'm usually pretty, whatever, take it, kind of a thing. But I have another really cool loader. Anyway, do I? You're talking about the trilogy, right? The hardcover trilogy. I think I got something else in. I don't know if I've listed yet. I have to look. So here's V. I don't know what this one's about either, to be fair. That's kind of cool. Look at that. Second impression. That is neat. Look how they did that. They did it because of the cover. It's a V. That's neat. Well played. Well played, Thomas. Tomas. Inherent Vice. Don't know what this one's about. Was this is a screenplay? Did they turn this into a movie? Okay. It's a screenplay based on the novel. So the novel's going to be different. Okay. Yeah, and there's no barcode on that one either, so they would leave that one behind too. I sure hope so if it's still there. With Joaquin. I promise I won't discount it. If that makes you feel better, Steve. I'm almost 9. It'll be sitting there when it's time for that day, man. It's usually like, it's pretty weird. Like usually like if people will, like if it's gonna, like it'll sell quick, and if it doesn't sell like super quick, it usually sits for a couple months. You got to stop picking up loader hardbacks. The even first, second American printings are tough to justify putting on my shelf. How many copies of the Fellowship of the Ring do you have right now? I wonder. And also, you've got there's a gentleman. I think his name is Lord Jupiter on here. If you ever bump into Lord, he'll pop in here every now and then. He's got a safe full of like early Tolkien, and he'll come in here and he'll tell us about it. I think I can't remember if he's ever sent me a photo, but I've asked him for photos. Here's Vineland. Lord Jupiter is his name. And if I'm misremembering that, if somebody knows better, let me know. But I'm pretty sure it's him. So this is a newer one. Barcode. I don't think I've seen this one either in paperback or hardcover. Wow. So this is one the scanners would find. Now, see, but I want to show you guys something. This is important. And we might end on this. So we're going to look up Vineland on Amazon, right? Because this is where they're sending books. Okay. Do they even have a hardcover option here? All right, let's go Vineland. So when they scan it, this is the information that they're getting. Okay? This right here is the information that they're getting. So now this is enough for them to keep it from a value, from a price wise, but then they're also looking at this, the seller's rank. So if for any reason this seller's rank, and I'm pretty sure 501,000 sales rank is probably something they would keep. I think they keep anything under 1 million is what they've been told. I'm not sure. I guess it depends on the individual, but they only have this. They're not checking for print. They're not differentiating because this data doesn't, the data set that they're pulling their information from doesn't pull print. So if you go up behind a scanner, and I do this literally every single time I go to the bins, they will scan something, and this is probably not the best example because it is 500,000 sales rank, but sometimes something is a lower sales rank, but people still really want to collect the first print of something. Do you know what I'm saying? But they may not be adding like a ton of new readers to an older author. Does that make sense? This is where their data falls apart, kind of. It doesn't allow for this. They'll miss it. So the first print here is $149. But they have nothing in their universe that is telling them the value of that book. So let me give you a better example. I hope this is a good example. I'm guessing here, but let's see. I'm not even sure. Red Storm Rising, maybe? It's a Tom Clancy book. So my guess is that it may not have a barcode, so this might be a bad example. Let's check. So that's the Audible. It doesn't even have a hardcover on here. Where's the hardcover? That's funny. It'll have a hardcover. I don't know where it is. Let's check out the sales rank. Oop, come on now. Oop, too big. I really want to see the hardcover. No, see, this isn't because it's in audio books. I need to see it in the right one. But anyway, the first print of this Red Storm Rising is like a $25-$30 book. But a lot of time Clancy doesn't get picked up because, people don't think any of his stuff is worth anything. You know what I'm saying? So they'll throw back that stuff. But if it's sometimes it's worth checking the print. If they toss something back and it's a popular author, like a Harry Potter, for example, think what you will about J.K. Rowling notwithstanding, but, there's a big difference between a 65th print and a first print in that world, right? You know what I'm saying? So they'll throw back $50, $60, $70 first prints because they don't even know to check or whether that information is relevant because they're relying purely on a data set that doesn't include that information. Does that make sense? I explained it like 10 different ways. I probably need to stop explaining it, beating the dead horse. But it's just another one of those things that they leave behind. So we don't leave books behind. No book left behind. You got to check them. You got to come up behind them and look. So I've got only 9. I found a site that does facsimile covers that you can buy. So, oh, that's cool. That is cool, Ninja. If you send me a link or let us know what the name of that site is, that would be awesome. You got fancy ones, readers, and some old, yep. The mental math for selling on Amazon is rough. Yeah, it's I think the benefit to selling on Amazon is that it kind of helps you turn your brain off because they just scan it. The app does the math and it gives them the ding. If they don't hear the ding, they don't. So it takes away. So unless they slow down and really understand how the data is put together and what it's actually, you know what I'm saying? It's designed so they don't have to. And then the YouTubers that kind of teach this system per se, they make it to they dumb it down. You know what I'm saying? It's because they want to make it, and I get it, they want to make it as accessible to everyone as possible. And again, I have no problem with scanners. So save all the books, but I'm just saying to people who aren't going to be scanners, and I don't encourage people to necessarily be scanners because there's a better and broader way and more effective way to do it. But having said that, scanning is fast and easy. So if you're looking for a quick buck, it's a good way to make a quick buck. So, but anyway, that's all I've got. But yeah, it does all the math for them. They're not looking, I look at everything when I'm out there and I see their phones and it's just you get one guy has a scanner on his fingertip. Ooh, where's my finger? And he grabs a book and he just does this. Oh wait, he goes dink, and that's the only motion. That's how fast he is. And then his phone is strapped. He looks like something out of a cyberpunk movie. It's a finger scanner and there's a cable that comes off of it. And I don't know if it's on the inside of his forearm or his outside of it. So I don't know if that detail matters, but he just dink. I think it's on his outside forearm because that's how you would do it. Dink. And that's it. Dink, 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 ding. And then he puts it in his cart. Dink, 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 ding. It's a treat. It's fun. You are welcome to join me anytime, friend. We go probably 2 to 3 times a week. Bring gloves, coffee, and a mask. Dustjacketsperiod.com. Let's check that out real quick. I can't tell you how many times people have threatened to beat me up there. I got cussed at yesterday. Some guy was looking in my cart. Oop. I'll look that up later. Dust jackets. Google. Some guy yesterday was looking through the cart and I said, hey buddy, that's my stuff. And he stopped looking. And then I thought I was being helpful. I go, just so you know, when you're here, if something's in a cart, you can assume that it's been picked by someone. The Goodwill is not going to put anything in carts because it would cause chaos, right? And he turns to me and he goes, and he's holding his kid and his wife's there, and he goes, well, I didn't fucking know. And I'm like, dude, okay. So I said to him, and I go, Mark Twain said that common sense ain't so common, sir. And I go, and then I said, bless your heart. And he just walked away. Oh. Anyway, it's a trip. It's a trip. It's a trip. It's a good time. Is this the place? Just check it. I didn't find it. I'll look for it later. But yeah, so tonight, guys, kids show. If that's your vibe, the ADHD show will be back on Saturday. We'll probably do a mini show between now. Actually, we'll do another show between now and then besides the kids show. I don't know what that is yet, but we'll do a pop up. It wouldn't let me put in the URL. It's not okay. Oh, it's an actual period, like a period. I didn't know that. Just give me a minute. Hold on, mental man. I need a day in the life. I really do think, like, you know how like Storage Wars was a really popular show. I'm not saying like my particular bins is that interesting, but I'm saying that they're like, it could be a show, like 100% untapped entertainment. There are characters, and it's anyway. What did you say? Dustjackets.com. Is that really all it is? Oh my God, am I dummy or what? What does it say? What is this Diddy Blue doing on the stock market? Is Blue Epstein? What? Dustjackets.com. Okay. I forgot a T because I can't spell. Dustjackets.com. Let's check this out real quick. Okay. So pretty straightforward. So let's look up Lord of Tolkien. We're going to bookmark this. In there. Done. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, I mean, they're not inexpensive, but I mean, it's worth it. I mean, like you can just buy dust jackets alone on eBay for these rare books, like original ones, and they're fucking expensive. They're sometimes as expensive as the damn book. And to be fair, there's way more of the books that exist than dust jackets. So that's pretty. Look at that. That is so pretty. Isn't there red in the original jacket?
What a $1 million idea.
Yeah, I mean, here it is. This is the $1 million idea in action.
Producing dust jackets. Brilliant.
Oh, I've never seen that cover. What? Look at that. A book club. Fun. Thank you for showing us this site, man. I didn't know this existed. So is this, I guess, like small? I see. Like, look at this. They even go so far as the printing. So you can actually like these are. I couldn't tell you like what's different in these jackets, but must be some sort of slight variation, whether it be size or because that's the difference between a 6th printing and a 7th printing. Here's an 8th printing, so it gets in the weeds. So this is the covers for the book that you're wanting from me, right? It's that one. Oh yeah, and this one, and I don't see the Two Towers one. Oh, there was Fellowship. I've never seen this one either. Anyway, super fun, man. That is super cool. Have you ever heard of Juniper dust jackets? They are specialized supposedly, and they cost a lot. They had the Outlander set and Wheel of Time. No. Side quest. That's Juniper dust jackets. Let me bookmark these guys. Bookmark. Oh, okay. Jackets only? Let's see. Oh, okay. So, okay. This I've actually seen. I've seen this I've seen this too. Look at that. Oh my God, they're selling just the jackets for $400. Oh my God. That's so much, but that's so cool. For the book lover who has everything, including deep pockets. Wow, that is pretty though. Now I know where those came from. Now, are they a publisher as well? Are they like a bookish box kind of a thing? 'Cause, let's see. Look at that Bridgerton set. Wow. That's cool. Let's look at this. So not inexpensive, but absolutely friggin' gorgeous. Like, look at this. I love this purple kind of pink kind of cosmic horror. I'm not saying this book is about that. I don't know what these books are about, but pretty covers though. Holy smokes. They got nice Tolkien designs. Look at the Tolkien. Oop, did I hit the button? Okay, no, I didn't. Let's look up Tolkien. Well-designed site, too. Appreciate the... Okay, here we go. The complete writings. That's pretty. Look, oh, wow, white and black. I think I like the white, actually. I don't know, they're both good. Same thing down here. Hobbit. Dragon, Dwarves, and High Drama. Okay, it's got a lot of blog articles, too. Behind the Design. Who else should we look up real quick on here? Let's go back to jackets only. Another Harry Potter set. Oh, here's the Outlander set you were talking about. Let's look at that. Another Harry Potter set, Blood and Ash. That's Sarah Mouse, right? Blood and Ash. Oop, I have a Deborah Harkness book in the show on Saturday. Nothing with these pretty dust jackets, but a paperback. She should go on our list. Deborah Harkness. Deborah Harkness. Her stuff looks really. I can't remember it now, but I read the back. Ooh, there's the Outlander set. Make the photos bigger. That's a pretty set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I didn't realize there was 9 books in the set. Holy smokes. I had no idea. Man, these are pretty. Flesh and Fire, Heroes of Olympus. That's Rick Riordan. Poppy War trilogy, R.F. Kuang. I think we've got Kuang on here. Nope, sure don't. We have an R.F. Kuang book in the I think the first book of that series in the show on Saturday. We got really lucky on sourcing this week. We got a lot of kind of newer titles, mostly paperbacks and stuff. Stuff's ready to read. They're in good condition and stuff. But Song of Ice and Fire, there you go. We'll look at a few. Ooh, that's cool. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. This is one of my favorite series ever. The 3 Body Problem. The Ji Jun Lee or whatever who wrote this. This is probably Ji Jun Liu. I'm sorry. Amazing series. Amazing. Probably some of the best philosophical sci-fi I've read in a long time. And they did a couple of shows too, if you want to dip a toe. Dip a toe. They did a Chinese one and an American one, I believe. Holly Black, very strong author. Atlas series, that's Olivie Black, not Olivia. See, I learned quick. Lev Grossman set, that's really cool. $84 just for jackets. Wow. And I guess they pay the artists and the printing fees aren't too bad. That's cool too. Murderbot Diaries. That's so cool. Here, we'll look at this. Last one. I'm getting lost in here. 9 books plus 5 novellas. Holy smokes. I don't think I've ever seen all of them in one place together. Okay, so here's Game of Thrones, the main trilogy. They have since added. Cool. All right. Well, let's raid somebody. But this is I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. We're gonna try to do this every Monday, like we used to. I don't know. We got out of, what am I doing here? We got out of practice for it. We just kind of got busy and then. But I need to be more disciplined. All right, we're looking to raid. I hope you guys enjoy your Monday. I hope your book finding is excellent this week.